Happy Friday.
Yes.
We
made it.
A day.
Yes. We are in the house. I hear a echo.
Are y'all ready for the weekend?
Jazz in the Gardens, baby. It's that time.
'Tis the time.
Makita, you coming?
I will. I'm waiting for Latif to let me know what time he's picking me up from the airport.
That's so funny.
I'm gonna let you know right now.
It's not happening.
Not gonna
That's
happen.
funny.
Yes.
Well, then you have my answer.
But there's a lot going on in Atlanta. Is that this weekend or next weekend?
That's every weekend in Atlanta. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm like,
Atlanta had a lot going on. Wait a minute.
They saw the meet by the Blue Flame. It's going down over there. Yes, it is.
Let's jump right into it. Did y'all hear about Ryan
Cameron?
Coogler?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Banking while black.
mean,
Man, I tell you.
My goodness. He wrote the note. He said, I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like it to be discreet.
Yes.
And if that was not enough, let me tell you, leave it to TMZ. They have pulled the footage.
Hey, sir. Hey, man. Do me a favor, man. Come this way. Put your hand behind your back.
Changing on my back. Okay. Got it. You got it. Is there any reason y'all doing this, bro?
Give me 1 second. Hold on. Is that him with the green flag?
No, sir. Hey, what?
204, what did we say?
Fellas, I really shouldn't do this, man. I mean,
What's going on, my man?
trying to put money on my own leg.
You said what? Yeah, what's up? This your phone?
It is, sir.
You have ID on you?
I got everything on me.
Where at?
But the thing I'm trying to explain to you right now, sir, you not listening to me?
I'm listening.
If you come on my right side, I got a badge on hanging off my hip. My work badge. And it'll tell you everything about me. And if you just run my name, you'll understand why you should take me off these cuts. You can not do it.
This is your name?
It's gonna be really bad for you. Yes,
Okay.
That's my name.
So Ryan Coogler, okay.
Cooks with Coogler. Just put it in Google.
I'm gonna say
So, Google me. And let me tell you, that video is longer than 5 minutes. They had him in the back of the police car. He was having a panic attack. He told him to take his glasses off because he needed to try to pull it together. He said, did you all have my nanny in the car as well arrested? Yes. He said
What happened? How did the nanny get arrested?
Because they arrested somebody in the car.
They were outside waiting in the car while he was pulling up.
Oh, okay.
So they basically created a conspiracy that there was a whole bank robbery happening, like it was set it off.
So I will say this. I mean, passing the note was probably not the best idea.
I mean,
why didn't you just go to the manager's office? I mean, like if you wanted it to be that discreet, why not just go to the bank manager's office and let them bring the money to you?
But this goes back to the Jim Jones Gucci conversation we're having. Ryan Coogler, if he's writing a note, that's not the first time he's gone to his own bank to withdraw money and written a note. You know what I'm saying? Like no one.
Did he have a mask on?
I've written a note for $5, but it's my bank account. I can communicate that to you any way I choose to.
Exactly.
And in addition to that, he used his ATM card to validate who he was. And then after he punched in his code, the teller then asked him, may I see your ID?
Okay,
he
now
then gave
I didn't
her,
see all that.
Because it's 5 minutes long. We didn't play the whole thing. He gave her his ID as well. I mean, it was a lot that he did. And when I've gone to the bank and requested large sums of money, I go into an office. That's cash. I don't do it at the teller. I don't. But everybody's not the same. And that's his money. And if he wants to get his money that way, that's his right. But unfortunately,
I was a bank teller for years. You don't slip a bank teller a note. You just don't do that. That is how people rob banks.
That's crazy. But he said his account.
I'm telling you, it is.
But it's a deposit slip with his number on it, his account number, his name. All you have to do is type it in.
What you're saying, Belinda? I hear what you're saying. I was in 2 bank robberies. One was like Set It Off, where they jumped over the counter. The other one was where a man passed a note. I wasn't the teller that he passed the note to, but when he passed the note to her, the teller rang the silent alarm and the police came. Now, of course, he was robbing the bank.
I want $12,000 from my account. That is not a robbery.
And I gave you
I'm not. Listen to what I'm saying, Belinda. Listen to what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying.
We on my 2 cents saying this. We not in the bank teller window saying this. This is not real time.
I can respect all that.
You know what I do? You know what? Yeah, I was gonna say that I can appreciate Mo's perspective, especially working in the bank teller, because working in the banking industry and been in that situation and you've been robbed, you would definitely have a different perspective on when somebody passes a note. Yeah, and in this day and age of COVID, where everybody has their mask on and things like that. Like, but man, it's just the fact that we Black, you know.
It's like, why do you have to go through so many hoops?
You don't want him to feel like he can't get his own money out the bank. But when you're trained, I'm talking about back when I was a teller. I don't know what they do today. But when you're trained, they show you all these videos of how it happens.
So the point I wanted to raise, Mokitty, is you're absolutely right. Like, I get that particular one step may have been a misstep on his part.
Yes, that's all I'm saying. That one step.
But what I'm saying is the escalation of it has everything to do with his race, right? Because here's the thing. Absolutely. Here's what I'm saying is, like, okay, he slips a note. Mind you, she's got his ID. She's got his bank card. Yes, he's wearing a glasses and a mask and all that's well and good. But how is it that the police, in their response after the silent alarm is pushed, not only arrest him, but then proceed to arrest the 2 people waiting in the car outside and have now come to the collective conclusion? So this goes beyond the bank teller procedure to policing.
Let me give you a little more insight. There was no silent alarm pressed. She left and went and talked to the manager and said that she felt uncomfortable.
Got it.
Oh, so that's a whole lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, she felt uncomfortable. And the manager told her, I will go over and keep him busy while you go and call 911.
Yeah, that's too much.
What? Why all of that?
That's way too much. Because he could have left. Like, if he was robbing the bank, when you walked away, he'd have left.
Well,
right.
And
if it wasn't him.
I do believe that.
And he told you to leave. He told you, go and count my money in a discreet location because I don't want you counting it up here at the counter so that people will see I'm receiving all of this cash.
Right. So they can watch me when I leave.
So I watch, I watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of movies. You know, like Heat, you know, like
Miles,
and Den of Thieves.
Miles, Blues
Clues.
Coco Melon.
That's the new joint. Coco Melon.
And Law and Order and all of these movies, right? I have yet to see a bank robbery go down where the bank robber passes the teller his ID. I'm just gonna
yeah,
right, exactly.
Well, here's the other thing.
And put his code in. Put his code in.
That note he passed was on the back. Looked like it was on the back of the deposit.
It was on the back of his deposit.
When you go to the bank, you gotta fill out a deposit slip to pass a note, anyways.
Yeah, and then they even had someone from the fraud department to talk about the bank's protocol, and they said that nothing that the man did was out of the ordinary. And then in addition to that, they said that the lady on the 911 call, the operator asked the teller, well, did you verify his information? And she said, no, I felt uncomfortable. She said, so you didn't look at the ID or know if the code was right? And she said, no.
That's what I'm saying.
She don't need to work at a bank ever again.
No, she don't need to come outside ever again.
Like she is in the wrong area.
A criminal in the mind of America. Like that is it. Like he showed up with the wrong uniform, which
I'll say this much, Dwight. Dwight, I'll say this much. If I'm him, I snatch every dime out of
right.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Bank America about to run. Bank America about to pay for the whole third Black Panther.
Right. He didn't do that.
Dime out of,
it was Bank of America.
It was Bank of America.
Bank of America shady.
They still owe us.
They are shady.
I want Ryan to get everything.
But he didn't do that. He said he accepted their apology.
He did.
Okay.
Oh no, he's
Ben Crump.
He gonna write a movie.
Look, what you say? He's in the background saying, blink twice if you are okay. If you're in trouble. Blink twice if you're in trouble. Oh my God.
He basically wore the same thing Roy wearing, but with a mask. You know,
I can't wait to watch. I can't wait to watch it when we get off. I need to see this.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Listen, he didn't and gave them a warning. Hey, you might want to look at that badge and
He said Google it.
Barely warned.
He could have done that so quickly, like.
Listen, I'm running up on the police department, Bank of America, everybody catching it in this lawsuit. Ben Crump was the first. Ben Crump didn't have to be called. He saw the video and probably called Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ryan.
And I'm not sure if I played this part, but in that video, when he told the man to Google him, he said, "Black man to black man. I don't want this to turn out to be a bad day for you."
Oh, y'all heard that part?
I did. You did? Okay.
I didn't hear exactly what he said, but
wait to watch this video. Where have I been?
Now the lady who was his teller was Black, and she was pregnant.
Oh, she was out of her mind.
You be your own people. That's what I'm saying.
Shut up, the white.
No, for real, because I had to go. Listen, I don't want to vent on my 2 cents, but I had
Go
today where a sister was sitting there talking about basically blaming Black folks for gun violence.
Tell them why you mad, son.
That's
Tell
what I'm saying. She up here just breaking down, like basically, you know, our community got to get their stuff right. I blame the parents. I blame this. And I'm sitting there to a panel of mostly white folks, and I was just like,
"We was on the panel? Oh no!"
No, this is what we do.
White, you know, it's always that one. It's gonna always be that one.
Was it recorded? I want to see what you did.
Tell them why you mad, son. Tell them why you mad.
Tell them why you mad, son.
Right.
Like it's our
whole
truth.
And she was also in law enforcement too, so it bothers me when folks get in these positions, right? And then just like right now, that brother's getting clowned. I hope at every gym he goes to, every bar he walks in. Like, wasn't you really Black Panther director, fam? Like, seriously? Like,
right.
You're arresting the director of Black Panther.
I want all of the people on my that all of the money when y'all go in the bank.
I'm sorry, Mo. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying I want all of my people on my 2 cents who have all this money. When y'all go in the bank, go to the manager's office to get your money.
Oh,
don't slip no notes. Don't.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the same thing that happened with what's this cat name with Gucci?
Yeah.
You call your associate before you even go there. Like, I don't know what these people are doing.
Like, I don't have any animosity or angst towards the Atlanta Police Department because they were just responding to a situation and they don't have all of that information up front. So they don't know.
I'm sure they were like, well, what is it?
No, but this is the thing. This is the difference, Miles. What I'm saying is, even in most police procedure, when you're dealing with a white person, there wouldn't have been like my man drew on him. Let's be clear.
He did. He definitely did.
You know what I'm saying? Like he drew on him, then had to put it back because he saw his partner's body camera. Remember, this TMC's body camera footage from the other police officer. Mm-hmm. So he was ready to already press the gun in the man's back off the strength of him just being a Black dude in the bank, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the kinds of things that bother me is like procedure gets violated all the time for Black people. Had that been a white dude in a hoodie, and all he was doing was showing white behind the sunglasses, it would have been, can we calmly pull you over here to talk about what just happened? Follow up. It would have even taken him away from the teller to put him in handcuffs. They put that man in handcuffs by the teller. Mind you, hadn't brandished no weapon. You ain't even frisked the man. It was straight from, we got called. Now let's put the silver bracelets on that man. So you didn't frisk him. You didn't Mirandize him. You just put him in cuffs.
And then you put him in the back of your police car and close the door.
Right.
But why did they go to the nanny in the car though? What did they? I mean,
they thought they were part of the robbery. They thought they were part of the robbery, the getaway car.
But how did they even know that was his car? Like at some point, somebody had to go look at something before you went to go look at something. You could have found out who that person
maybe
was.
It was staged.
Whole thing could have been.
It's part of the movie, right? It's part of the movie.
Somebody asked a question.
Right. Somebody asked the question.
Right,
well, Jussie is the producer of this movie.
Right.
Jussie gonna play Ryan Coogler in the movie.
You know what? On that note, I'm gonna be quiet for this segment. I really I ain't gonna say for
Jussie Smollett.
Let's move on. The judge in his sentencing yesterday spoke for 40 minutes straight. And it was a harsh chastise. It was. I mean,
he was capping on him.
It was a lot of say it for the people in the back and say it loud. It was a lot of that. I mean, I believe that the judge said everything that we've joked about, that you've heard your friends say. He said all of that. So the ruling was 150 days in Cook County Jail. He immediately was taken away after the sentencing to begin.
5 months. That's 5 months. 150 days. 5 months.
5 months.
I mean, that was just, this is the biggest. I mean, he had to pay $25,000. That was the highest amount. Restitution of $120,060 or 6 cents, something like $6
gave my dog no house arrest for that, like
30 days, a month.
He did the most.
30 days.
Exactly.
Hey, but
30.
Trump's still walking around.
Can I finish? 30 days.
I'm speaking, Roy. I'm speaking.
Miles, you about to have a
Powerade
at the scene.
Take your time, Deaconess.
And I see why I couldn't get it out, because it was wrong. It's 30 months felony probation. He didn't have to live in any specific city. He could travel, and he can make his reports from the phone. He didn't have to report physically into anyone. Well, after the judge said that, and when he was about to be escorted away, he raised his fist and told everybody in the courtroom that he was not suicidal, and pretty much was yelling it at the top of his lungs.
Why would you say that?
And the reason,
if he turn up dead in jail, he want folks to know he ain't kill himself.
Yeah. I think
that would put him somewhere where he wouldn't be around everybody.
Nah.
No. That's not. She's not saying that they think that he's suicidal. What she's saying is that when certain people go to jail, they tell us that they committed suicide. Like, remember Sandra Bland?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Yeah. They say that they commit suicide, but in fact, there's something else that happened to them. At any rate, the judge basically just chastised him and said that it was a hypocrisy against justice, is what it boiled down to. I'm done.
I'm just saying he should have stormed the Capitol. He would have got less time.
Shut up.
Right. But listen, Dwight is telling the truth, and what happens, we always when somebody black does it, it's the right thing. But there's folks that have written whatever the little boy's name is, Trump. You got all these fools walking around that have killed, that have caused so much harm to people. And I think Jussie he's a nut, but I don't know if behind the bars is really the answer for him versus getting him psychiatric help more than anything.
He definitely needs psychiatric help.
That's the problem to me. Now, was you wrong? Absolutely, we can see the wrong in it. But behind bars, is that going to really be the solution? I don't think so.
I think I agree with Ward just in the sense that I don't feel like the punishment fit the crime. Like I don't think that that's jail worthy to a certain extent, especially after you done hit the man for 25 racks. Damn, dog. You done hit the man for 25 racks. Let that man go home and be on
plus 120. 120.
120.
It's almost $150,000 that he.
Yeah, like
you
pays restitution.
Because I know if I'm Jussie, and they say, hey man, we could either take 120 racks from you or send you to jail for 5 months. I'd be like, well, shoot, let me make myself comfortable in this jail.
Because he's paying for
that. You say that is now, Miles.
The money he's paying for the trouble that he caused, the police coming out, all of the problems that he caused. That's restitution for all of that stuff.
So on the flip side, I hope Ryan Coogler gets that restitution for all the.
Exactly.
Right. That's all I'm saying. It's like,
but I mean,
you got to pay for inconveniencing the police.
Don't let the taxpayers have to pay for it.
You know what I'm saying? Run me my coins.
Well, I think the teller should pay for it.
For real. She started it.
Right.
Yeah.
Bank of America.
Trump incited the Capitol. Trump incited.
He did.
He incited Kaepernick. That one right there, you can cost a man his whole career.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just saying. Maybe I'm missing something.
No, you're right.
Belinda and April, you all are psychologists on here. Does it come a time where someone who is mentally ill and they create in my castmate Miles's term? Oh God.
So I was gonna say Miles is mentally ill. What?
No.
Borderline.
His whole life. You just say
borderline. Like
the word I was getting ready to use. This is something that he would say, a heinous crime.
Heinous.
You know, I'm saying, like, they do it. Do they go to jail? Is there a balance between being going to jail for something like this and then also receiving some type of care, mental?
So I've actually worked in corrections, and there are correctional facilities, the majority of them provide mental health services. And sometimes if there's a heinous crime or there is a level of concern, a high level of concern, there's a unit that could be available just for the inmates that may be deemed unsafe to the population. So I worked in level 5 and I worked in level 3 before, and they all had their own units for severe mental health cases.
Now, is that something that the judge has to add to the sentencing, or is that something? Oh, they just
something that's decided in the system.
Oh.
Because once you go into the system, once you go into corrections, you're a part of that system. It's not up to the judge to decide what level you are on or what takes place in that system. They just give you the sentence for being in the system.
You know how if they go to jail and they commit, they're like constantly fighting and all other stuff, they put them in like solitude. You know, that doesn't have to do anything with the judge. That's based off of what's going on there.
And then what about the family in all of their testimonies, the older brother, the older sister, the youngest brother, all of them were saying that he was completely innocent and that he was victimized. And now he is a victim that now has to spend 100 and some odd days in jail. Who knows that a victim then goes to jail? Does anyone understand what that? I didn't quite understand that part.
Maybe they just supporting.
It's called family ties. Because
I was gonna say maybe they just supporting their family.
If Ebony or Lateef get locked up, it's gonna be free Ebony, free T. It don't matter what they did. Like I'm like that's family ties. Like I'm not gonna never concede to the fact that they actually guilty, even if I saw it with my own eyes. My people are innocent. Period. Point blank in the discussion, and don't ask me again. Free my brother, free my sister. Period.
Okay. Okay.
Oh Lord.
Because that's what he said. Jussie said he was innocent. That's what he said. He said, I am innocent.
Well, you
Miles went all the way there, didn't he?
He did.
All the way there.
He brought you right into the real life.
Look, I had a t-shirt on too. Like, let him go.
Yeah.
Let Tifa Ebony out, man. They don't deserve that.
They should not be. They
did not even do anything.
I mean, they didn't do nothing.
Like for real, like ride or die, blood in, blood out. Like my brother show up to my door with a body in his trunk. Like I grabbed the shovel.
Okay, you going too far, Miles. You going too far.
Look at Belinda. Belinda was like, sir.
I grabbed the shovel and I start digging.
Miles on mute. Put him on mute.
Belinda, that's the same person that said if he had a choice between paying 25 racks and going to jail, he'll just go to jail. And I'm like, right.
I said
Exactly.
Sir.
But first of all, did anyone know Belinda's face like she had the receipt?
You ain't going. What you say, Dwight?
Belinda had that face like, oh, the shovel that I just bought from Target?
Not my shovel.
No, Belinda was like, leave my husband out of this.
Like grand conspiracy, bring it out.
She just like, example.
Right.
Belinda was like, not over here.
Use another example.
Right. She like, get my husband out of that.
Yes.
I don't even know why you did
like,
that.
let me burn this receipt real quick.
But I am gonna say I appreciate it because I understand it now. But it was kind of like a Trump type of thing. After so many people keep saying the lie, you start being like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah. Like, did I miss something?
I have to remember.
I saw the whole thing. Now I'm kind of confused.
Jessica, you have to remember that is a family full of actors and
actors. Yeah.
Yeah, real talk.
Right.
No, and it showed. It showed, Mokita. You saw it.
They should have been the worst people to put on the stand and to judge his character because they could be anybody they want to be.
Hey, when they get ready for that new movie,
right? They could be
all of them gonna be in Ryan Coogler.
Shoot,
his sister was like, when I was on Full House back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
We called the teller of Bank of America, the teller at Bank of America.
Oh boy.
Well, we can lighten the mode up a little bit. Did y'all see Kim walking in her Balenciaga concert tape?
Yes. I want to see this at Jazz in the Garden. I want to see this outfit.
Oh, you gonna see that?
You probably gonna see something real close.
Yeah.
She looked like she can't breathe.
She could not.
She couldn't walk either.
She couldn't walk. She couldn't sit down.
I'm not even gonna tell you what I told Roy. He was like, Jessica.
What if she had to go?
That's what she probably told him.
That's what she was walking like, Belinda. She was walking like she
had to go.
She did. Like she wanted her legs to stay together. At the knees.
She looked like C-3PO from Star Wars when she walked.
Did.
Every step was
facts.
Every step of the way.
A very expensive C-3PO.
She just kept thinking about that shit. She was ready to cash.
That outfit cost every bit of about 10 racks. Like,
yeah, she was just thinking about that shit.
All tape, bro. That was tape. That was tape, man.
It was just tape. Man. It wasn't an outfit.
Yeah,
it was
like
tape.
They wrapped her up in like a mummy.
I'm gonna do like Tracy Morgan. I could have put her in duct tape for $9.99.
They wrapped her up like a mummy, and she was walking like one.
And she was like, "Yes, go to the bank. Go to the bank.
Don't write any notes. Go to the bank."
You right.
Yeah.
Right. Got everybody talking about that.
But don't pass a note. Don't pass a note.
Oh, right. Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
Mokita, you know what it made me think about? So, Mokita, you might have been at the bank when the black lady went in there and she owed the bank money.
Oh,
and she jumped over the top. That's the bank Mokita was at. The
lady. No, have you seen that? You haven't seen it yet, have you?
Haven't.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you after this.
Mokita, I think you should sue for copyright infringement because Vivica Fox played your role clearly.
Listen, let me tell you something. When that movie came out, listen,
don't do this.
Listen, and it happened before the movie came out.
There you go.
I was triggered. I was triggered in that movie theater, but that was my last day at the bank. When they left with the police, I left right behind them. I was like, I'm never doing this ever
That's
again.
not for me.
That was the scariest.
Was this bank in Atlanta?
No, it was in Cleveland.
Well, there you go.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. The truth comes out.
Right.
Oh, things do happen.
Well, there we go.
Loves and Harmony robbed you. Come on,
But wait, listen, y'all. The oldest person in the takeover robbery was 16.
Mm.
And
Wow.
it was a whole bunch of them happening throughout Cleveland. And the way they caught them was they robbed another bank, and a guy followed them on his motorcycle.
Mm.
You know, the guy wasn't one of us though.
Right.
As she bends her head down.
Yeah, I was like, no, we not following.
All the money is insured, right? Okay.
Right.
We like, this ain't my bank. You can have it. It ain't even my bank.
Hello. I was like, wait a minute. You want me to open that one up too? How many more?
Let me know when you go and get a cut. Okay.
But the part that was scary was when I found out they were 16. They had automatic weapons. Like, you could have sneezed and all of us would have been dead. You know, it was just, that was crazy.
Yeah,
how many banks did they rob, Mo? And allegedly, how much?
It was probably I think it was 5.
They got away with 5 bank robberies?
Yes, but listen.
What was it? What year was it?
Huh?
What year was this?
What year?
I moved to Atlanta in 97, so it had to be early 90s. But the bank that they
carry cash like that in
when you run that age, right around that time, traveling.
But shut up. The bank that they caught him at was the one like 2 blocks down from where I used to work. I was like, why y'all still in the neighborhood?
Right. You still in the same.
Just crazy.
Because they're 16-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why.
In Cleveland.
Exactly.
I'm taking this money to the strip club so I can look rich. I mean, come on.
Right. I mean, they're not doing anything with it.
No.
There was a guy that just recently happened. There was a guy that he had robbed a number of banks, I think it was. I don't remember what it was, but they ended up finding that it was him because his dreads had color on it and his shoes, and he was in a TikTok, and they were like, "Oh, that's him."
That dummy. He had custom Nikes on.
Yeah, Dodo bring you all up in the camera doing goofy dances. Now you in jail.
Just stupid.
So did you guys hear about Brittany?
Free Brittany Griner.
In Russia.
Is she still there?
Free my dog. Yeah, she's still there.
And they said
I don't know if
that,
you know this. Russia's not our best friend right now, so I don't.
No, I know. I was just asking.
I don't think she's gonna see the light of day.
Somebody came home.
That's scary.
Some basketball player came home.
Yeah.
Well,
that was the one that was stuck in Ukraine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they have her arrested in Russia, right?
Well, I don't know. The story just doesn't add up to me, but I've also left it alone too.
Okay, so we'll leave it alone. Deion Sanders.
No, I don't like it.
Sanders, 2 toes on his left foot amputated. To God be the glory, because any type of blood clot, you can die.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
did you see the video of his son clowning him though? Because he's in good spirits.
No, I didn't see his son.
His son gonna talk about, Dad, I'm 10 toes down for you. Dad. I'm 10 toes down for you.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he go, how many toes you down for me, Dad? Now I'm gonna talk about I'm 8 toes down.
That is so silly.
That is ridiculous.
But you know, you got a chance to see their relationship though, man. His kids, they love it. They daddy, and the players do too. And that's why I think he's successful at Jackson. And look, and we didn't talk about the daughter signed to go there too to play basketball.
Nice.
Yes, she did.
Oh,
yes, she did. Yep. She is like, I am right there.
That is his nose all day long.
I'm right there with my daddy. Yes, it is. She can't. There ain't no daddy maybe on that one.
It is not.
Yeah, family affair, man. But
you're from the country.
Roy spoke about it. Roy spoke about it, early in the year. Just the critical acclaim and the amount of national attention that Deion has brought to HBCUs and to just the Black college experience. It's unprecedented. You've never seen Black colleges highlighted this much, and then to add to the spotlight, you're able to snag the number 1 overall recruit in the country from your alma mater. And them white folks was mad. They were big mad about that. They was big mad about that. So
come on, Dwight. But you know, though, Miles, here's the thing. Deion said this. He said, well, why don't y'all have the same energy when y'all ask me to talk to all the recruits that go into your school?
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And then the sad part about it is I remember I don't know if y'all saw the interview with Nick Saban, and they were like, Nick, how do you feel about Jackson, taking this like number one recruit from, and he was like, wait, I'm happy for his program. Like they feel entitled to these top recruits.
Of course, Roy, because we've been making, when I say we, I'm talking about black men. We've been making those institutions rich for years,
Right.
Roy. Yeah. Roy, if there was no Melvin Bratton, if there was no Michael Irvin, if there was no Jerome Brown, if there was no Edrin James, if there was no Santana Moss, if there was no Reggie Wayne, there would be no University of Miami. If there was no Terrell Buckley, if there was no Deion Sanders, if there was no Ward Dunn, if there was no Sammy Smith, there would be no Florida State. Like, what if all of those athletes, all these Florida kids, what if they went to Florida Memorial? What if they went to FAM? What if they went to
Miles? Nobody gonna argue with you.
Trying to argue.
You won't argue with you, boy.
No, but you're right. Here's the thing.
That is so funny.
But
Brian's got to come on here one day.
That is the same thing that I was saying in July. That's the same thing I was saying in July.
Hey, Roy. How many times does TT want me to say, TT, you were right, I was wrong? Like, how many times? How many times?
Every time she bring it up. Every time she bring it up.
I won't bring it up no more.
His tune done changed, April. Go ahead.
But
let him know how his tune done changed.
What we talked about was matching dollar for dollar. I think what happens with HBCUs, the alumni don't necessarily have that long paper to match. And that was the other argument why a lot of athletes end up going to those schools, because you have that money to have the facilities, have the uniforms, have those big Nike, whomever the deals are with, and the HBCUs cannot match that.
But that's not all the way true either.
That's 100.
No, I think so.
That's not all. Their facilities are good. Now you talk about you have to go. It doesn't. But their facilities are still good. Like it's not. It's not back in the time when we were in
Morehouse.
Those schools are not like that.
They still have the same bleachers and benches when TT was there.
TT.
Nobody's going to
Morehouse is not an athletic school like that. Like the schools that are athletic.
They teased that way because they were winning. A lot of those schools don't have that. And a lot
but that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
That's not
even the white schools that's not winning. They ain't got it. The white schools that's not winning, they don't have it.
April, my name.
No, they don't.
My name represents where I went to school, right?
Who do I? Who you said?
Winthrop does not have it.
Yeah, no, they not.
I've been all throughout Gramblin's facilities. I'm telling you now, it does not compare to LSU.
But what I'm saying is, if you are just going for facility wise, you going to a school for a facility.
That's part of the
but the other thing of it is just like, I mean, it was a clip with Deion. The mama was like, my son out here playing for y'all. He was like, oh, okay, we'll give him a full scholarship. And the mama like, dang, like she was in the locker room or something with them. And he was like, go ahead, give him a full scholarship, give him a full ride. I mean, if your coach sticking up for you like that, then okay. Like, but I mean, if it's a white school and they ain't got it going on, they ain't got it going on.
But what I'm saying to you though, even Deion even said this in his previous interviews. He's like, hey, because they were complaining about, oh, he gave this money to Travis Hunter. He said, listen, I'm at an HBCU, even though we winning, we ain't got all that. We ain't got no money. And what I'm saying to you is, and when those schools are state funded the way they are, they're not putting the money back into these programs the way they probably should. So you're not going to have the state-of-the-art program, locker room, sponsors and everything else. They're just not the same.
It's just
the beauty of it is that
alumni are not
NIL
a handful.
Try to continue to come and level the playing field.
Yes, I mean,
only have
20
more minutes.
You got to change it up.
And we missed a lot from last week, so I don't want to stay too long on that topic. Jesus, did y'all get to see the trilogy? Now we talked about it last week. No, okay,
I heard the first one.
I did. That last one made me so sad.
Yeah, the last one is not for everybody. So, But they had a discussion. They had a discussion and brought Kurt Franklin, Pastor Michael Todd, the man who spat in his hand and put the spat in the boy's eye.
Don't get distracted.
Okay. And then it was moderated by Devon Franklin and of course Cootie and the other director and all that. And they said that this basically was a spiritual documentary. This was about God. It was about their relationship with Christ, and it was faith-based. So Netflix was asked about it, and Netflix was like, we didn't know that. We didn't know that that's what it was.
Netflix pulled a gap.
You know what they pulled off? They pulled off when LL Cool J put the.
I said Netflix pulled a gap. They had a gap
right there.
Right. That FUBU commercial.
Yeah,
FUBU
in the Gap
they
commercial.
thought they knew the culture. He was like, "No, this is the culture on my head."
Yeah, and they broadcasted it everywhere. Ooh, yay! Look.
And that's what Cootie said. He said that he knew going in that the whole movie was going to be about God. And that's the end of it. And so the discussion panel that they had, while a lot of people came in there trying to talk about the broad character of Kanye, no one discussed that. It was all about God.
But you can even see in the first the episodes, even when his mama, I mean, you saw faith and God's presence throughout whole
everything,
and how he trusts God so much that it didn't matter what people said. He knew, like, y'all call me a producer, I'm letting you know, I know I'm a rapper. And and then the mama and him sit down in the middle of the night and she rapping his songs, talking about, hey, listen, this is what God has for you. This is who God says you are, and this is who I think you are.
He did make Jesus walk. I mean,
he did. And I want to say that's probably the biggest faith song. I don't know another artist that's made that walks under the moniker of being a gospel artist whose song has been that big. And I remember this when I was in the I was in the gospel industry. And this was probably 3 years after the song came out, and the Stellar Awards had Kanye West. And if you don't know what the Stellar Awards is, it's nothing but faith. It's all gospel music, every genre of gospel music. Kanye West was nominated for the best rap album of the year with Jesus Walks. We had to call the Stellars to be like, Kanye's not a gospel artist. That's this not the category for him. We know that that's a huge record, international success. You know that we're with you, but he's not a gospel artist. And then that led me to beg to ask the question: well, what makes a gospel artist versus a mainstream? But that's not what this conversation is about. But I'm just saying, I don't know where we were going with that.
We were just talking about how faith-based it was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That also reminded me of, what was the movie? Oh, The Book of Eli.
Oh, right.
Denzel Washington.
His whole
and
meaning.
At the end, you like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I have not seen it. I gotta watch it.
That's a good one.
I'm going to tell you, the documentary, what I took away from it, I took a couple things away, but what I can't shake is how much him and his mother loved each other. It was like you could feel it. It was palpable. Like it was just like, and when she left, you could see the change in him. And so I wonder, I also wonder, did she see that there were some signs of maybe not so stable Kanye? And she knew how to bring him out of it and cover it up so that people never saw it.
Right.
It was like she may have dealt with it in the background and people never saw it in the light. But when
that was my
gone,
conversation with Roy about Jussie. I said I don't believe that his intentional recklessness, that this was the first time that he's been this type of calculated in the past, and that his family had to help him through that. But that was why I felt like his was dangerous to the point where somebody could get killed dealing with that type of devious behavior. But to your point, Mokita, I definitely agree that his mother had the ability to calm it.
Yeah.
But I also think it's the nature of creatives, right? Like when you really start thinking about people out here who are like savants or super creative, many of them start leaning towards, some sort of behavior that denotes something more, because they talk about the notion of the thin line between genius and
crazy.
Saturday or lunacy.
You know what I mean? So it's like nothing surprised me about the Kanye thing anymore, at least. But I definitely, to Makita's point, like his mom was literally the anchor. Period.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Stabilizing force.
The light.
Once
and then to go from that covering to Kim's covering, that was wild.
Well, just in the sense that nobody else
had to cover him like that.
Like, he doesn't feel a sense of humility around anyone else but her.
Yeah.
So even if he could have been dating somebody who, believed in him and tried to hold him down, but he would have never submitted to that person because he was under this belief. He believes in his geniusness, right? Like, he's a firm believer in his thing, but his mom was the calming force, period. And that was,
so we can stay on Kanye for a second. He and Antonio Brown said that they're looking to purchase the Denver Broncos. No? No?
Wow. I said it'll never be approved.
I mean, not only will it never be approved, they don't have that kind of cake.
How about
his teeth are beautiful.
No, but here's the thing. I think
Antonio Brown's. His teeth are beautiful.
Well, Antonio Brown said, "Can't nobody get him. He is the best player out there."
You don't like Kanye's
Billionaires Club, and them
you don't like Kanye's team.
Playing with him.
Miles, you gotta understand, they wouldn't go in as soul.
Kanye had his whole mouth that open. You don't like that.
Who's gonna be the people to like financially back them if they were leading the venture?
Nobody.
No, I'm not. Right. But here's the thing that we don't. A lot of times you might hear about, hey, an athlete is talking about buying so and so. A lot of times when an athlete or entertainer is going to buy a professional team, it's a very small stake. And so what will happen is they'll make that the headline, so it creates a lot of frenzy and buzz behind it. But 9 times out of 10, you're not the majority stakeholder. You own a part of it.
But that's the thing. I guess the difference is that Kanye is trying to be the majority stakeholder. Like, let's be clear. Like, he is an assessed billionaire. He has, enough people kind of backing his other business ventures that would put money into the notion. But the idea of him being the owner of the team, along with Antonio Brown, just sounds like
a disaster.
A bad idea.
Well, if you're an owner, can you play? I thought you couldn't play if you became an owner of a team.
No, you can.
Oh,
it's your team. You know what I'm saying? Like Kevin Garnett's part owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm not saying he would play, but he has the option.
Well, they gave him that option knowing that he was going to retire, right? He had like a year left in it. They signed him for like a year, and they're like, hey, here's part of you coming back. We'll give you that. You're not going to be the Kevin Garnett we first had. So part of it is the draw. Part of it's veteran leadership. And we'll give you a stake to come back so you can put back into Minnesota, the community. He means that much to Minnesota.
Yeah. I mean, Jordan flirts with the idea. I heard Jordan flirts with the idea annually with his, which is crazy, but that's just his competitive nature.
I love Mike, but Mike, no.
Have you all watched the new show about the Lakers?
Yes.
On HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first episode was pretty good.
Bad. It's not bad.
It was.
It's not bad.
So last thing about Kanye is he wrote a poem.
Oh boy.
You like to hear it?
Here you go.
Here you go.
Here you go. Here you go.
Because as you're saying that, I can keep imagining Kanye being like the other dude on The Living Color, talk about the pun,
pontificate.
Look, real quick. The other night I happened to be walking because I turn off the lights in the house before I go to bed, right? And so, I go into my wife's office. I'm about to turn off the light and go upstairs. And all I see is divorce dead. And I'm like, wait, is she not telling me something?
Oh, Lord.
Hold on. I looked down and I was like, oh, okay.
You was like, wait a minute. I got scared.
Bro, you slept with one eye open, huh? You was just like,
got scared, bro.
Right.
I mean, those were some big letters, Roy. I feel you.
They were.
Bro, it was like, I'm gonna sleep on the couch tonight, babe. Don't worry about that.
Look, honey, when we got ready to pray that night, you really was like this.
Bro, it was like, and may the covering of the Lord
right. No divorce, no good.
And
Lord, you know my heart.
Right.
Let God keep us together.
Right.
We got the big bottle of olive oil.
Rest in peace to Johnny Brown.
Good times.
He made us all laugh, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, good.
You know they get ready to do a reboot, and it's gonna be a cartoon.
A cartoon.
Yeah, it's gonna be a cartoon.
I didn't know it was gonna be a cartoon.
Yeah, I heard about it today.
I thought that was Fat Album the Gang, basically.
No, it's Good Times. They get ready to do Good Times.
JJ, Mike.
Yeah, and he's saying that the cartoon of Good Times is
it's
Fat.
That is
Albert.
I mean,
Rudy
was JJ, a mixture of JJ and weird,
What about Bel Air? Have y'all been watching Bel Air?
Yeah,
yeah, I think it's pretty good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Everybody said that your boy is creepy.
Is Carlton still smoking crack on that show?
I don't know what just happened. I don't know what happened. But the guy that plays Carlton, they say he's creepy. It's not the same character.
Yeah,
because he smokes crack.
I don't know the same character.
Oh, he smokes crack
on the show. Yeah.
Oh Lord, why did they give?
No, he doesn't smoke it.
I didn't see it. I didn't see him smoking crack.
But he said it was like Adderall or something.
Well, why? Why did we have to bring that into this?
Well, that's part of his
dark
character.
Version of being in Bel Air.
They're all very different.
They're all supposed to be the antithesis of their
Right.
When I tell you I love Jeffrey, listen, I didn't like Jeffrey in the original, but I'm liking Jeffrey now.
Listen, Jeffrey will protect you.
Him and Antonio Brown. What you trying to say, Mokita? I mean, I'll just say.
No,
Mokita said she needs herself a chocolate man with nice teeth. Clearly,
what a little gangster. What a little gangster. I like a little gangster and a little, smart gangster, like that.
Cleveland, come on up.
You like a gangster. She like a gangster, but don't come in the bank with a slip, okay?
Yeah. But more importantly, Roy, it looked like Mokita was Googling how old are the bank robbers now, so I can be like, are you reformed, sir?
No.
1994 was a long time.
You go ahead and admit it. Mo, just go ahead and admit it. You for the thugs. It's okay.
I do. I like a thug. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, speaking of a thug, Zoe Kravitz was not enough because the movie that she auditioned for, Dark Knight Rises, they said, "Girl, you are too urban."
Oh wow.
Yeah, I remember.
What is Dark Knight Rises?
Batman.
Too urban mean?
It sounds scary.
Batman. That was Batman.
It means too black. That's what it means.
But I thought she is Batman.
That's what it means.
Say it again, Dwight.
She's in the new Batman.
That's what I said.
No, she's Catwoman.
In the Batman.
That was in 2012. That was the old one.
Oh, so you're saying she didn't make it in Dark Knight Rises?
The irony of it was she wasn't enough for that, but now she's Catwoman. Now she can tell her truth. Yes.
Well, that's because Dark Knight Rises came out before Black Lives Matter. So.
Exactly.
Oh wow!
I don't even know that movie.
Do the
Oh no, Dark Knight Rises was good. Anne Hathaway played that role.
Yes,
Anne Hathaway played that role.
Yeah, that sounds scary to me. I'm good. I don't need nothing dark at night, Rob.
I didn't want to see. I don't think I really like to see the reboots of the movies that I saw back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really.
I'm with you, TT. But
even the Spider-Man,
was the best Batman movie. That Batman movie was true. I can't even lie.
Even the little Spider-Man that have been coming out, I'm like,
what is this story?
Who's that?
What's that?
Calvin.
What's that?
Oh my goodness! I cannot believe this show is almost over and we're just getting it, Calvin.
Yep, we're just getting it.
Oh my God!
Who's Calvin?
What's this story, Miles?
Calvin was suspended for betting
for 4 years for
$1,500
gambling on games.
for the whole year.
Oh my God, he is stupid.
What game did he bet on? Was it his
I
game?
don't even know.
They know himself.
Was it his game?
It don't matter. They say it was gambling. They said that the Atlanta Falcons were part of the parlay. But let me just make this point about this whole fiasco, so to speak.
Be mindful of our time.
Yes, ma'am.
I want us to get this story in and for people to understand. Go ahead.
When it's mandatory when you're an NFL player, you are prohibited for gambling on games, and the suspension is a year. However, if you're found guilty of domestic violence, your punishment is 6 games. So they were bringing that up on First Take to juxtapose the punishments to say the shield means more to them than the welfare and well-being of the community.
And then let's throw in, Miles, the fact that an owner can tell a coach to throw the game.
Correct.
And nothing happened.
Well, more importantly, the NFL got a partnership with DraftKings. Are you?
That's not the only one, but there's like 4 of them though. There's 4 of them.
It's like yeah. And fantasy football ain't nothing but gambling too. Everybody's gambling on fantasy football as well. So like they have a very interesting relationship with gambling and that whole dynamic as it associates with their sport. How they want to take the money.
That sounds about white.
They want to.
That's funny, Dwight. That was a good one.
That was a good one. Shout out Dana.
Right. Complexion for protection.
100%.
That sounds about white.
Yeah.
I can't with y'all sometimes.
Very interesting to say the least. But I mean, the NFL is a league contradiction.
Well, that's the only league that has their own legal.
Yeah, when you say
oh my goodness, and you did not even bring up Brian Flores. Okay, Brian is it. Did you hear what's going on with Brian Flores?
Yeah, he want all the smoke. What's going on? He want all the smoke.
Brian all. So his lawsuit that he filed against the NFL. They wanted to gave him the option to take it to arbitration, meaning settling out of court. He said, no.
Nope.
We're taking this thing to trial.
Yeah. I'm able to do that.
Take that shit to trial.
Naked pictures of somebody's wife.
The revolution will be televised.
Take it to trial.
Yeah. Brian said, I got the receipts. Y'all gonna see the videos. I got all.
And his lawyer also added that every time there's a racial suit against the NFL, they want it to go to arbitration. And it should not go to public. And Brian Flores and his legal team said, not today.
No. I need Brian to make a statement that say he is not suicidal.
Right.
Because they gonna try.
Hello.
To your point, Mokita, here's the crazy part about that situation. When a black coach or a player comes out and says something like he said, they'll be like, hey, is this career suicide? Why should that be a question about what is right versus what is wrong?
Right.
We'll see y'all tonight at the party at Hard Rock.
For the turnout.